I do believe that cars have souls.
Well, welcome back to the channel. It's actually been a little while, and today I'm going to be working on this DeSoto door. This is one of my long-term car projects that I've had probably close to 18 years. Sanded both doors and both front fenders down to bare metal about maybe 5 years ago, maybe a little bit more. And like an idiot, I just left them outside and they rusted. So you can see the rust on this door. This is, I don't know which door this is. It's pretty bad. And so I need to get all this rust knocked off and get it cleaned up really well. And then I'm going to be actually getting to use my Fuji Spray system for the first time and get some primer laid down on this and get it actually protected, which is what I should have done a long time ago. But I've been looking for a project around the house for a little while, and there's a couple of projects I thought I was going to be able to get to use the Fuji Spray on, which is the 63 Chevy C10, and I thought I was going to be able to use it on my 62 Ford Unibody before now, but it's been a crazy summer between fires and the heat and everything else going on in the world and life. It's gone by quick, and we're already heading into the fall, and I want to get these things done and taken care of. So I'm using my gear-driven Ingersoll Rand 8-inch gear-driven sander here, and these are great little sanders. They don't. It's not a dual-action sander like my smaller Hutchins 6-inch sander, which you'll see a little bit later in the video. This is a gear-driven sander, and it's pretty aggressive the way it works. I'm using it with, I believe I am using 80 grit sandpaper on this, and my little air compressor, it's not a little air compressor, it's pretty big. It's an 80-gallon tank, and I'm not even sure what the horsepower is, but it's pretty old. It was built in 1954, and it's a great little compressor. I've been using it for 15 years now, I think, and it was rebuilt right before I got it. It struggles a little bit to keep up with a lot of these air tools that require a lot of air, but you just have to take your time, be patient, you'll get it done. I wasn't sure how bad the pitting would be on this. I know it looks really, really bad in the video, and I live in a pretty dry climate. California is really, really dry. It's almost desert-like our weather here. It rains a few months in the between January, February, March, and that's pretty much the only rain we get all year. So this has been rained on for, a few years in a row, but it actually is not as bad as it looks. So this is at the end of the first day of sanding. This project lasted a few days, so this is just some metal prep, and it helps dissolve the rust. And if you have a pretty aggressive, sanding pad, not sandpaper, but like a gray pad or a red pad, sometimes you can knock some of this stuff off. It'll turn black, and it'll actually start dissolving the rust. I'm using some pretty fine steel wool, and it's not really doing a whole lot, but I wasn't sure when I was going to be able to get back to this, and I didn't want it rusting anymore, undoing the work I had just done. So I wanted to get this on here. You basically rub this on, get it all wet, and then you hose it off and let it dry, and it'll put it looks kind of like a yellow coating on it, and you'll see here in a minute what it looks like after it's dried. And here you go. You can see the yellow kind of film on it from the etching. So this is the beginning of day 2. I was finally able to get back out there and get going on this again. And I'm using my DA this time since I got the original nasty stuff knocked off. And I believe I'm still using 80 grit here. It's a little more controlled. It's, I don't know if it's faster or slower, but it's a little more controlled using the DA sander. This is a really nice little Hutchins DA. I've had this thing for, 25 years probably. And it did get replaced once because it got stolen, but I repurchased the same kind of sander. It's a really, really nice finish sander. And keep them oiled, and your tools will last a long time. This is the beginning of day 3 of sanding on this door. Probably have 3.5 hours of sanding. Part of it is just there's a lot of rust on it from me leaving it outside like an idiot. The other is my compressor. You can see it off there to the left there. It runs probably half the speed of what a new compressor would, so maybe a third of the speed. So if I had a really nice new compressor, it would put out a lot more air volume, and it would cut through this a lot faster. But it's what I got, so it's what I use. So there you go. So I know you clicked on this video to watch me primer this door, but it's all about the prep. So if you don't get the prep done, it's all your work's just going to be for nothing if you don't get it prepped and clean. So I'm just using some grease and wax remover here. Get the nasties off, get any grease or wax, whatever might be embedded into the door. I don't know what was on the door. Like I said, it sat outside for quite a few years. So, you just don't know what contaminants might be on it. So getting it cleaned well and getting it ready for primers, just all part of the process. This primer is really, really high solids, and it takes quite a while to get mixed up as far as, you know, the gallon can. And what I'm not showing you is I probably spent a half an hour using a mixing blade on a drill, just drilling it just to get it all mixed up. This can has been sitting for 3 or 4 years, something like that. I bought it on a sale a few years ago. Really, really good primer. I've used it quite a bit in it. This particular primer has a rust converter, rust inhibitor built into it. So whatever trace amounts of rust is still might be on the surface of the door and the rest of the parts I'm going to be priming, it'll go ahead and convert that over, so you don't have to worry about getting it absolutely flawless. So this is also my first time using the Fuji, as you saw from the thumbnail on this video. This is also the first time using this PPS cups system and putting it all together. So it's pretty cool. It's a little different than other things I've used. I have a DeVilbiss gun, a standard HVLP, and the way it goes together is similar but a little bit different. But I was pretty happy with this once I got it put together and flipped it up. As you can see here, I'm just checking for leaks to see, because I've had these, as soon as you flip them up, they'll start leaking, and this one didn't, which I was really happy with. What you're seeing here is me literally using this for the first time, and I can tell you I should have connected it to the hose and then turned it on instead of turning it on and connecting it to the hose. And I did the same thing when I turned it off. I pulled the airline off and then turned it off. I'm not used to this system. I'm used to using an airline where when you disconnect it, it shuts the air off. That's, you know, 30 years of using paint guns and stuff. I'm not used to this continually flowing air. So yeah, I'll be doing that a little different next time. Please forgive my horrible technique. This is not how you normally would primer something, but I'm literally using this for the first time, and I'm just trying to get a sense for it. I'm trying not to also shoot a bunch of overspray into the air either. So I'm just kind of seeing it, how it works, how it feels. I've actually, the trigger on this gun is really smooth. It's smoother than any spray gun I've ever used. The overall feel of it is, it's similar, obviously, to any HVLP, you know, the gun that's top fed like this, but it is different, and it will take some getting used to. I did like using it though. I liked the way it felt, and it, you know, like I said, it's going to take some getting used to and some technique. Now this is just primer. Now what I was very surprised with, and happily so, was this primer's really thick, and I've actually had to install much larger caps on my other standard HVLP gun, my DeVilbiss that I spray with. And this one is actually much smaller. It's the standard one, and I think it's a 1.3, and it handled this primer like super easy. I can tell that these were, I think, designed originally for flowing super heavy solids, doing like woodworking and stuff. Almost everybody that I've seen use these guns use them for woodworking and cabinets and stuff like that. And so I did get a smaller cap and needle from them for doing automotive, but for this primer I just left it the way it came from them, and it sprayed beautifully, absolutely beautifully. So I was very happy with that. Like I said, the technique's is a bit rough, and I've got multiple things going on externally that you can't see, but I'm trying to keep the overspray down to a minimum. So I'm doing little short bursts, which is not normally how you would primer something. This is not good technique. Don't do what I do. I mixed up just enough primer to pretty much primer this door, you know, and use the gun as it's set up. You can put larger cups inside this cup. You can see there's more room there. The kit that I ordered, the PPS cups that I ordered, are a little bit smaller. A lot of the stuff I spray are just small pieces like this, so it's not such a big deal. And I also didn't mix up very much of the primer to spray. I didn't want to waste it, and I just wanted to be able to try it out, and so I'm pretty happy. It did exactly what I thought it would do. I'm very, very anxious to try it out using base coat and also clear coat, and also some single stage that I have as well. But pretty happy so far. I tell you what, it's pretty amazing to be able to plug in, you know, your compressor to an outlet and have it run an air hose and be able to spray without using an air compressor. It's very different, but it's very, very convenient too, because you can pretty much take this anywhere and use it, which in my case I will be taking it to a different location in order to do some painting. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, so far I've been pretty happy with its performance, and I look forward to trying it more using other types of paint. So, well, after cleaning the gun, I wanted to take another look, and this is it. And I'm pretty happy, you know, still playing with the air pressure, and, you know, I need to get a better feel for the gun, but it definitely laid the primer down, no problem at all, even being as thick as it is. So, yep, pretty good.